Zinc piconolate, zinc gluconate, and zinc orotate are probably better tolerated in the tummy and rapidly absorbed. Zinc citrate and zinc sulfate may... Oh, hi. I'm checking my hair for split ends. My friends used to help me do that in high school. And these days, I just hope when I take a shower, I'm not having a ton of hair plug up my drain. I have friends now who are balding on the top of their scalp and one whose hairline is receding. Losing hair just causes a lot of stress because cosmetically, it's just not appealing. But hair loss is a metabolic and immune problem. In fact, your hair is a sentinel chicken of the health of your body, as they are the first ones to cry for help. Take a look at the hair on your legs and feet. Have they been changing through time? Maybe less hair, thinner, or less color? These are our markers your body is less healthy. Hair growth is incredibly energy consuming and sensitive to both mental and physical life stressors. And when your hair struggles, that means you're missing enough critical nutrients in your nutrition, or you have excessive stress. In other words, your lifestyle can revitalize the health of your hair to help you grow more hair. So the number one best thing you can do for your hair and your health is free, and that's to sleep well. And it's not enough just to sleep or to sleep for a certain duration of time, because when you sleep, you go into different stages of sleep. And slow wave sleep or deep sleep is the best sleep for hair health. Hence, people who have poor quality sleep or not enough time sleeping will lose hair. For women, we notice hair loss in our scalp. Many men already have androgenic alopecia, otherwise known as male or female pattern hair loss, but they still have body hair. So when their health struggles, their body hair changes. And it starts at the hair distal to your body, which are your feet and legs. During deep sleep, especially slow wave sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which is essential for cell regeneration, especially in your hair follicle. If you're not getting enough deep sleep, the production of growth hormone significantly goes down, which can slow your hair growth. Hence, it's important to get to bed before midnight. The most significant release of growth hormone occurs during the first few hours of sleep. This is slow wave sleep, which happens early in the night. And typically, growth hormone secretion peaks at about 30 to 70 minutes after falling asleep. And this coincides with the onset of the first episode of slow wave sleep. It's ideal to be asleep between 10 p.m. and 12 a.m. when your body naturally enters the first episodes of slow wave sleep. This timing aligns with the body's circadian rhythm, maximizing the potential for growth hormone release. Now, you can take things that interfere with this: caffeine, alcohol, antihistamines like diphenhydramine, otherwise known as Benadryl, cannabis or marijuana, stimulants like amphetamines or derivatives of amphetamines like Adderall and Ritalin, opiates like morphine or oxycodone, benzodiazepine, sedatives, antidepressants, particularly SSRIs and tricyclic antidepressants, cocaine, and nicotine. They all reduce sleep quality. They all affect slow wave sleep in their own unique way, and they all reduce hair health and the health of the rest of your body. Now, if you're already taking any of these prescription medications, you can't just quit. It can be actually quite dangerous to just quit. Please speak to your healthcare professional on how you can slowly and safely wean off these dependent drugs. There are also board-certified sleep specialists who are physicians who can help you improve your sleep. Now, we should all strive for better sleep quality and quantity. Chronic sleep deprivation that elevates cortisol, which causes a condition called Telogen Effluvum, where more hair follicles enter the resting phase, leading to excessive hair shedding. That's what happened to me after I had my kids. I was chronically sleep deprived, and literally I stayed up for 36 hours from nursing and being interrupted by the little kids. After a few months of chronic stress or sleep deprivation, that shedding will occur. And this condition can last a few months, but it improves when your sleep pattern improves. Do you have dandruff? Maybe dry scalp? Well, poor sleep can weaken your immune response, making it harder for your body to fight off infections or scalp conditions like dandruff or folliculitis, which can lead to hair thinning and hair loss. Sleep deprivation can also cause oxidative stress, leading to more scalp inflammation, which weakens hair roots to cause hair loss. And when you don't sleep enough, you actually reduce your blood flow to your scalp, decreasing the delivery of essential nutrients and oxygen to your hair follicles. This in turn makes them weaker and thinner over time. In fact, the change in sleep stages also changes your blood vessel dilation. So it changes your blood flow all around your body, including to your scalp and brain. And this is one reason why disruption of sleep can increase dementia, including Alzheimer's. Sleeping actually regulates various hormones, including those involved in hair growth, like melatonin and thyroid hormones. So when you have messed up sleep, you mess up your hormonal balance. That negatively affects your hair growth. That can cause more hair to fall off than usual. Now, number 2 is a mineral that your body needs for growth and development, but excess levels are quite toxic, and that's iron. You need just enough iron, but not too much iron. Most people don't realize that you will never lose iron unless you're bleeding. So for menstruating women, they may be low in iron because they bleed every month. And if you're not repleting that iron with iron-rich foods to keep up with your menses, then you will have a net deficit. Now here's a list of iron-rich foods and iron-rich, fiber-rich foods. Oftentimes these women will have a low ferritin on a blood test, which is considered to be less than 30 nanograms per milliliter. Ferritin is a protein that stores iron in your liver, as well as in cells called the enterocytes found in your gut. Now enterocytes are critically important in regulating iron absorption. It actually adjusts depending on your body's need. It can also store a little bit of excess iron. And this is where iron and the immune cells are really important, because your immune cells can send instructions to the gut enterocytes on how much to absorb, store, and release. How else would your gut know if your arm is bleeding? Because your immune cells travels all over your body. But when you don't need iron, you have programmed cell death called apoptosis, which then helps you expel the iron so that you don't get overloaded. And this is a healthy, normal process. Iron is actually in every cell, and it makes up hemoglobin, which is the oxygen binding protein in red blood cells, and myoglobin, which is how iron is stored in your muscles and spleen. But excess iron can be actually quite dangerous. There is a group of people who are super absorbers of iron, and they have a condition called hemochromatosis. And this is when the body collects iron beyond what is needed, so it has a problem getting rid of the extra iron stores. Like I said, once you collect iron, it's hard to get rid of it. If you suffer from this condition, you can accumulate as many as 20 to 40 grams of iron compared to the normal amount of iron, which is about 3 to 4 grams. So if you accumulate iron in your skin, you become bronze tinged. If iron deposits in your joints, you will have arthritis and pain. If iron collects in your pancreas, you're going to have pancreatitis. If iron collects in your liver cells, you will get diabetes, cirrhosis, and potentially liver cancer. If iron deposits in your heart, you're going to get heart disease. And the problem with iron is that it rusts. Have you ever seen a rusted old iron nail? Would you ever use that nail to hold anything up? Probably not. It's going to break. Iron rusts because there's oxygen and water, and your body is made out of oxygen and water. So when you have an excess amount of iron, it starts to rust. This is actually quite toxic, and how it can reduce hair growth as well as tax the rest of your health. Women actually develop hemochromatosis later in life because women are always losing iron from menstruation and childbirth. In men, the symptoms of excess iron or hemochromatosis can present a decade earlier than women, usually around 40. The treatment of the condition is called bloodletting, or basically therapeutic bleeding. If you are of Northern European descent, then you have a 1 in 200 chance of inheriting hemochromatosis. And your doctor can easily screen you for hemochromatosis via some common, simple tests. Now, number 3 is another critical mineral called magnesium, which millions of people actually struggle to get enough of in their diets. If you see a cardiologist, they may give you magnesium when you're having a heart attack. But long before you get that heart attack, your hair will be suffering from the lack of blood flow from calcium plaques. Apparently, magnesium helps you regulate calcium levels. Therefore, it allows hair follicles to function properly. Magnesium is actually inversely associated with calcium buildup, which can build up on the scalp and clog hair follicles, leading to hair thinning and loss. Magnesium also regulates stress and cortisol levels, which is crucial for protein synthesis, including keratin, the main protein that makes hair. If your diet is full of green beans, nuts, and seeds, then that's actually a magnesium-rich diet. And if that's not your diet, you're eating a magnesium-deficient diet, unless you're supplementing. Did you know if you do your diet right that your hair can grow 6 inches by the end of the year? And this means that you have to get healthy and reduce the stress. That's actually half an inch per month. However, when you have stressful challenges in life, your hair will actually be the first one to suffer. And that's why I eat number 4, pumpkin seeds, which is one of the highest sources of magnesium. But it actually has other components that can help with hair growth, like pumpkin seed oil. But like all oils, they can go rancid. Rancid or oxidized oils are actually harmful to eat. So never eat old oils or reuse it for cooking. These cooking oils are exposed to heat, light, and air, and this can cause them to undergo a chemical reaction called oxidation. Oxidized oil leads to formation of free radicals, and these highly reactive molecules can damage cells and contribute to inflammation and various diseases, including cancer, heart disease, and premature aging. Oxidized oils actually break down into toxic compounds such as aldehydes, ketones, and lipid peroxides, which can cause cell damage to cell membranes, to DNA, and to proteins. And this inflammation contributes to chronic diseases, such as heart disease. Oxidation can also deplete the nutritional value of the oils, reducing the levels of beneficial compounds like vitamin E, which is an antioxidant, and essential fatty acids. And these nutrients are vital for heart health, skin, and brain health function, and their loss diminishes the oil's benefits. Studies have shown that oxidized oils can actually raise low-density lipoprotein levels, often referred to as bad cholesterol. And this form of LDL is particularly dangerous because it is most likely to contribute to plaque formation in the arteries, leading to atherosclerosis and other heart diseases. Oxidized oils can also be harder to digest and may irritate the gut lining, leading to digestive discomfort or inflammation in the intestines. And long-term consumption can affect the gut, which is linked to a variety of issues, including metabolic diseases like diabetes. And it's not just heat that causes oils to oxidize. Exposure to light can break down oils, which is why some oils are sold in dark bottles. Now make sure you keep your oils in airtight containers. Now the oxygen from the air can trigger this oxidation process, especially in oils high in polyunsaturated fats like vegetable oils, such as sunflower or soybean oil. And this is why instead of pumpkin seed oil, I prefer to eat the whole pumpkin seeds, because I'll be able to get more anti-inflammatory benefits from the fiber and the minerals like zinc, number 5, which is essential for hair growth. Zinc is actually a trace mineral that plays a crucial role in all dividing cells, especially in the hair. It also regulates hormone levels, including testosterone. Imbalanced testosterone can lead to hair loss, particularly androgenic alopecia, which happens in both male and female. Zinc plays an essential role in protein synthesis, like keratin, and zinc is required for proper cellular division. Now, zinc, it has antioxidant properties that help protect hair follicles from oxidative stress caused by free radicals, which damage cells and leads to hair thinning and loss. Zinc also regulates the production of sebum, the oily substance secreted by sebaceous glands in the scalp. Sebum actually keeps the scalp healthy and moist. It also prevents dryness or excessive oiliness, which can both affect hair growth. If you have telogen effluvum, a condition where your hair is just falling out prematurely, or thinning, or maybe you have dry or brittle hair, these may all be signs of zinc deficiency. So see your medical doctor for an accurate diagnosis. Now, if you're low in zinc, you can take a supplement, but just know that there needs to be a limit. Excess zinc can lead to toxicity, causing more harm than good. And a safe supplement dose is typically between 15 to 30 milligrams per day, depending on the individual's zinc level, diet, and lifestyle. Now, going beyond 40 milligrams per day, which is the upper limit, can lead to side effects such as nausea, vomiting, interference with copper absorption, and it can cause copper deficiency, which further causes more hair loss. Now, there are several types of zinc supplements, each with varying absorption rates and effects on the body. Zinc piconolate, zinc gluconate, and zinc orotate are probably better tolerated in the tummy and rapidly absorbed. Zinc citrate and zinc sulfate may irritate the GI tract more. Zinc oxide is mostly used topically, like in diaper rash creams or sunblock. Now, keep in mind, when you're micronutrient deficient, it's usually not just going to be one type of nutrient. People don't eat micronutrients, they actually eat food. And usually if you eat real whole food, lots of micronutrients come together. Now, some of these micronutrients or essential nutrients are called omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, number 6 and 7. Both omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are essential for your overall health and to support the health and growth of the scalp. Between omega-3 and omega-6, the average person is an overachiever for omega-6 and failing for omega-3. Omega-3 fatty acids are known for their anti-inflammatory properties, and they play play a central role in promoting hair growth and maintaining hair health. Scalp inflammation can contribute to hair loss, particularly in alopecia areata or folliculitis. By taking omega-3s, they can help maintain a healthy environment to reduce the inflammation. It can also help promote blood flow, increase blood circulation, to make sure that the follicles in your hair are getting enough nutritional support. Omega-3 is critical for your hair because it helps to regulate the sebum production, which is the oily part of your scalp. And when you produce sebum, you actually prevent it from getting dry and brittle and itchy on your scalp. Omega-3 really just improves the overall structure and elasticity of your hair strands. It reduces it from being so fragile and breaking, and in essence, it's making you stronger and healthier hair.
Hi friends, I am so thrilled that you want to take charge of your health and take charge of your food. Now, I know nutrition can be complex, but it doesn't have to be. And I'm here to support you in this lifelong journey. So if you point your camera app to this QR code, it'll take you to a link for a free handout that I created just for you. And if you like it, if you want to see other handouts, please go to the link in my show notes, and then you can leave me your feedback on what I could do to help you in your journey. Okay, back to the video now.
But I do want to talk about omega-6 fatty acids. Most Americans, they're getting A+++ on omega-6 fatty acids. And fortunately, when you have high levels of omega-6, it actually causes inflammation. So this is why you have to balance omega-3 and omega-6 levels. The key component in omega-6 fatty acid appears to be arachidonic acid, which actually can stimulate hair growth. It helps to maintain scalp moisture to prevent dryness, and it helps to maintain a healthy barrier on the scalp. This protects them from overall environmental damage and inflammation, which can negatively affect your hair growth. So if you're eating lots of processed foods with vegetable oils, you're overeating omega-6 oils. And the ideal ratio is around 4:1. 4 is omega-6 to 1 omega-3. The majority of Americans not only have omega-3 deficiency, but they also have an omega-6 surplus. Now, when you're picking omega-3s, just know that there are two main bioactive molecules, docosahexaenoic acid and eicosapentaenoic acid, which are both important for your health and the health of your skin and your hair. Now, if you are a vegetarian, your omega-3 fatty acid sources will be plant-based. They're coming in the form of ALA or a marine source. Now, here are some foods high in omega-3s, which can be consumed in marine animals or directly from the source algae. Today, some foods are fortified with omega-3 fats. Now, number 8 is another essential vitamin called vitamin B12, which is crucial for hair growth because it plays a key role in several processes that are fundamental to maintaining your health. Vitamin B12 is essential for red blood cell production so that you don't look pale and anemic. It's essential for you to have oxygen all over your body, and it's essential for cell division, especially in your hair follicles. Hair follicles are amongst the most rapidly dividing cells in the body. And when you have adequate amount of vitamin B12, you're synthesizing an adequate amount of DNA. But a deficiency in vitamin B12 can lead to cellular production, which leads to slower hair growth. It's really all blood flow. Lack of B12 can contribute to hair loss or thinning because the hair follicles don't receive enough nutrients and oxygen to sustain healthy growth. And it's linked to telogen effluvum, where hair prematurely enters into the shedding phase. Now, B12 supports energy production. So you can imagine if you're deficient or inadequate, you're going to be tired, fatigued, sluggish. And there are several different forms of B12, like cyanocobalamin and methylcobalamin. And they both offer varying benefits. People tend to like the methylated form better because it is already a bioactive form. And there are people with genetic or absorption issues that impedes them from taking cyanocobalamin. If you're not taking a supplement and you've already been diagnosed with a deficiency, then I'm not sure that's a good idea, because how are you going to increase your vitamin B12 levels? Vegans and vegetarians are especially vulnerable to have vitamin B12 deficiency because B12 is only found in animal products such as meat and dairy. Plants don't make B12, plants don't store B12. Therefore, it's crucial that vegetarian and vegans, they take a B12 supplement. Now, people over 50 also make less gastric acid and intrinsic factor, which are both needed to absorb vitamin B12 from food. And I personally don't take any chances. I actually take a vitamin B12 supplement every day. This is what I take. In fact, it's recommended that all adults over 50 take a vitamin B12 supplement. Now, even young people with digestive disorders like Crohn's disease or celiac disease or irritable bowel syndrome can have impaired vitamin B12 absorption. Those with gastric bypass surgery or stomach removal, they actually have less intrinsic factor and gastric acid. This both impairs vitamin B12 absorption. And you can imagine everyone on certain medications like proton pump inhibitors, that reduces your acid. You're going to be more at risk. H2 blockers, you're going to be more at risk of having absorption problems with vitamin B12. Now, if you're on a common diabetic drug called metformin, you're also at risk of being vitamin B12 deficient. People with a condition called pernicious anemia, in which they have an autoimmune condition where the body attacks itself, especially in the stomach, or they bind to proteins like intrinsic factor, then this can lead to the inability of absorbing B12 from your food. So if you have B12 deficiency, you can have a range of symptoms, and many of which can affect your overall health, your energy levels, and the health of your hair. Number 9 is another B vitamin, vitamin B7 or vitamin H, biotin. Biotin supports keratin production, which is a protein that makes your hair. Now, it's involved in both the protein production of hair and cellular energy metabolism of your cell. Both together are crucial to have rapid turnover of cell to keep your hair strong and healthy. Biotin deficiency is actually rare, but certain groups may be at higher risk, and this can cause hair thinning, dandruff, as well as brittleness. Now, the recommended daily allowance for biotin is like 30 micrograms for most adults, and supplementation is generally safe even at higher doses. However, extremely high doses can interfere with thyroid lab tests and may cause acne and digestive discomfort. If you eat cooked eggs, nuts, seeds, and whole grains, you get enough biotin. Raw eggs are a bad idea for multiple reasons. Besides food poisoning, raw eggs actually contain avidin, which is a protein that can bind to biotin to inhibit your absorption of biotin. Like I said, frank biotin deficiency is pretty rare because biotin is available widely in different kinds of foods. Your body can also recycle it to a certain extent. But if you do get symptoms, they're really non-specific. And mostly we diagnose it based on certain groups that are higher risk of insufficiency. Now, these groups include pregnant or breastfeeding women, where they have an increased demand of nutrients, which can deplete their biotin stores. Excessive physical activity can also deplete biotin. And people with genetic disorders, certain inherited metabolic disorders, such as biotinidase deficiency, can prevent the body from recycling biotin. Now, if you have a problem with alcohol, that's another way people get biotin deficient. Antibiotics are another problem. Chronic antibiotic use can destroy your gut bacteria that actually helps you produce some biotin. Now, people with gastrointestinal disorders, such as Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis or irritable bowel syndrome, they can all have impaired nutrient absorption, including from biotin. Now, here's a recommended daily intake for biotin depending on your age, your gender, as well as your life stage. Biotin is actually considered pretty safe even at higher doses. And that's because it's water soluble, meaning the body can eliminate any excess. And this makes toxicity pretty rare, even at doses that far exceed the RDI. Number 10 is often forgotten, and that's hydration. Dehydration can significantly impact hair health and growth because water is essential for nearly all biological processes in the body, including your hair follicles. So when you're dehydrated, you just simply have less blood flow to hair follicles, which you need a consistent supply of oxygen, nutrients, and moisture, as hair shafts require moisture to stay hydrated and flexible. It's kind of like an orchid. You need to have water all the time. And without adequate hydration, the hair becomes dry, it becomes brittle, and prone to breakage. This can lead to frizz, split ends, and difficulty retaining length, as hair that breaks easily struggles to grow long. Simply put, your scalp, it needs moisture to be healthy. Dehydration causes your scalp to be dry and flaky, which can lead to conditions like dandruff or an irritated scalp. And when your scalp is unhealthy, that can hinder hair follicle function, which can contribute to thinning and loss of your hair over time. Dehydration can also slow cell regeneration. It delays hair growth, and it keeps your hair stuck in the resting phase, the telogen phase, longer, contributing to hair thinning. With short-term dehydration, a few days or weeks, you may not see an immediate hair loss, but you might experience drier hair, more split ends, and a drier scalp. Hair can be more brittle, making it prone to break. However, chronic dehydration for weeks to months, that's going to affect your hair growth cycle. That'll keep your hair in the resting telogen phase so it conserves energy, which delays hair growth. Additionally, hair quality can deteriorate with more frequent hair shedding or a noticeable decrease in hair density. Of course, severe dehydration, acute cases, can lead to more immediate symptoms of hair hair weakness or even temporary shedding. And in extreme conditions, it may contribute to hair loss like telogen effluvum, where stressors like dehydration cause hair to prematurely enter into the shedding phase. And drinking water might not be enough to rehydrate. And if you want to learn more on the best ways to rehydrate, watch the next video.